Hi, welcome to Natural Health KE. My name is Angela, and I'm here to tell you that cancer is not a death sentence. In 2017, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was terrified to say the least. Why? My mother and my aunt both passed away from breast cancer, and my uncle from leukemia. So, as I was looking into treatment options, I was very keen to see something that would work for me. In my research, I came across alternative treatment options, and I chose nutritional therapy. And I came out stronger on the other side, cancer-free. In this video, holistic health practitioner Dr. Ekberg begins to explain to us what are the causes of cancer. It's very important to understand the causes because I believe conventional medicine treats the symptoms and not the cause. Join me as we watch Dr. Ekberg till the very end.
The causes for cancer is glucose. There's something called the Warburg effect we're going to talk about in detail in a little bit. There's chronic inflammation. There is carcinogenic compounds. So there are different chemicals that can cause mutations in cell and drive the conversion from a healthy cell to a cancer cell. Also, a lot of oxidative stress can create an environment where cancers thrive. When we have a weak immune system, then we can't fight off the cancer. So the normal situation is that we have a certain number of cells go bad on a regular basis, but with a normal immune system, we can clean that up. So if your immune system isn't working, then that might give the cancer the upper hand. There are also some hormonal imbalances that can drive a cancer. And then there is gut health, because a dysbiotic gut, if you have imbalance in your bacterial flora, that can affect virtually every one of these other factors. So I gave each one of these items a little icon just so we can illustrate a couple of things along the way. But the number one thing we have to understand about these things is when we talk about cancer-fighting foods or the best foods for this or that, most people start thinking with a pill mentality. They think they're going to find that superfood that's going to go in and strike out all the evil and all the bad in the body. But it doesn't work like that, because first we have to realize that there are certain things causing the cancer. And unless we stop putting those factors in, there's nothing else we can do to make it better. So the first thing we have to do is to avoid all of the different factors that give the cancer the upper hand. And then we want to go in and figure out what are some really good foods, what are some categories, some types of food that can help the body, that can strengthen the body, that can strengthen the immune system, etc., and that might be able to offset or compensate for some of these factors. So the Warburg effect is basically observing that cancer cells prefer glucose. They're different than your normal cells. They come from your body's own cells, but they have changed. And in that changing, now they behave differently and they prefer different fuels. And if we understand that Warburg effect, now it becomes rather obvious what kind of foods to eat if we want to starve a cancer. So that's obviously low carb, or for some people, even a ketogenic diet. So avocado, for example, leafy greens, non-starchy vegetables, extra virgin olive oil, butter, coconut oil. These are all healthy fats that don't raise blood sugar at all. Other low-carb foods are things like meat, fish, and chicken, and we should always try to get those from natural sources. So grass-fed meat, wild-caught fish, and pastured chicken, if we can get it, is always going to be better. Then nuts and seeds are low carb, high fiber. They don't raise blood glucose much at all. Mushrooms are a good example. And then we also want to realize that when I give you a list, that doesn't necessarily mean that these are the only foods or the only good foods. We need to understand what do these have in common and realize that there are many other similar foods. So basically any real food that is similar is going to work really well. And then we also want to realize that even though these foods are selected to accommodate for the Warburg effect, to starve a cancer cell because it likes sugar, a lot of these foods, if they're real food, they're also going to satisfy these other criteria. They're going to reduce or be neutral to chronic inflammation, to carcinogens and chemicals, to oxidative stress, to immune system, to hormonal balance, and to gut health. And this is very, very different from an isolated chemical or an isolated vitamin that might account for one of these. It might fit into one category or improve one thing, like a medication, but it's not going to fit into multiple. It's not going to create a complete holistic picture the way that whole food will.
As we've learned from Dr. Ekberg, cancer cells thrive on sugar. One of the decisions I made as I was on my healing journey was to remove refined sugar from my diet and replace it with nutritious foods. For example, I increased my portions of salad, and I replaced oil that I used to use from refined oils to cold-pressed oils, such as coconut oil and macadamia nut oil. What changes will you make to your diet starting today? I hope you enjoyed this video. In subsequent videos, we shall go through inflammation and gut health and their relation to cancer. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and share this video and hit the bell notification button so that you'll be notified when we upload another video.